Welcome back to the channel. Today, hey, get out of here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna cook a rotisserie chicken on the big green egg. So let's go. Here we have a chicken, and this is a 3 3/4 pounds, almost 4 pound chicken. So let's go ahead and cut this guy open. Got some goodies inside. And then we got these meat flaps hanging off. So I'm just gonna trim those up just a little bit. So get a closer look in here. So I'm just gonna trim, that's mainly fat, just a little bit of meat, but not really. And trim up this. All right, otherwise this is looking pretty good. It's just a whole bird here. So I'm gonna season this off. We're gonna do something a little adventurous today. I've never done it before. We're actually gonna kind of marinate this, season it with chimichurri that I made yesterday. We had that for something else, but I'm gonna season this up just pretty basic with some salt, pepper, garlic. Let that salt penetrate into the meat for a little while, and then we're gonna put the chimichurri all over it, and I think that's gonna help it turn out real nice. All right, so I'm gonna pull this skin back just a little bit. I'm gonna wash my hands, clean hand, dirty hand, and we'll be right back. Because we're gonna be marinating this with the chimichurri, I'm gonna kind of keep it simple, salt, pepper, garlic. So I just want this to dry burn a little, have the meat soak up the salt, and then after that, so probably half an hour, I'll go ahead and put the chimichurri on it. So I'm gonna try to get a little bit of the seasoning underneath the skin here. Because I'm putting on the rotisserie, I don't really wanna pull the skin all the way away because I want it to get nice and crispy and kind of stick to the meat. But I'll just try to shove a little bit of salt in there, so let's see what we can do. So I'm gonna season this up and then we'll be right back. Hands are all cleaned up, chicken's done. Salt, pepper, garlic. We're gonna throw it in the fridge, let it dry by for a little while, maybe, I don't know, a couple hours. And then we'll put the chimichurri on and then we'll throw it on the rotisserie. So it's been a few hours since we seasoned up our chicken. It's looking nice. The skin has dried out a little bit. So I'm gonna go in with our chimichurri. This is just leftover chimichurri that we used yesterday. So I'll just stir it up. And I'm just gonna kind of rub it all over. So I'm gonna give it a few spoonfuls, and I'm gonna save a little so we can serve it with it. But I'm just gonna give this whole thing the rub down. Make sure you get in between those wings and those legs. Under the skin, between the skin and the meat there. I'm gonna try to drop in some chimichurri on each breast. And then just get on in there and rub it down. So we're gonna let this sit for a little while we get the grill fired up, and then we'll throw it on. So we're getting the big green egg fired up here. Got our charcoal going. What we're gonna try to do is bank the charcoal against the back there. So we kind of have heat like this, and then we'll have our rotisserie rod that goes across. And the rotisserie rod is gonna go in here and then just goes across. So we'll wait for that to go and then we'll throw it on. All right, so this is our chicken here. It's looking pretty good with that chimichurri on it. So we are gonna attempt to truss it so that way it doesn't fall apart on our rotisserie. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so our chicken is nice and trussed up. So our legs are held together, our wings are held to the sides. We're gonna go ahead and stick this chicken on our rotisserie rod here. So I'm gonna shove it down the cavity and all the way through. And we're just gonna try to center it. I'm gonna throw our little spikes on. And when you're putting the, tightening these down, do it on the flat surface because if it's on that edge, it tends to loosen and then it'll kind of fall off. So we'll just tighten that down. And this is ready to go. Okay, we are outside and we got our fire going over there. And I also have, I just lit some in here as well to get it started. Pretty unnecessary, but that's what I did. And what I'm gonna do is try to push most of this charcoal towards that back edge. That way we have our heat source kind of like this rather than directly underneath. One thing I am gonna do, this is really hot right now. I'm gonna come down here and I'm just gonna adjust our vent. I'm gonna close it, probably have about 1/3 open, kind of reduce a little bit of the oxygen that's coming through. And I'm gonna go ahead and close this down. And then that way we can kind of regulate our temperature a little bit before we put the chicken on. Always burp your egg. And our temperature already came down quite a bit because we cut down the airflow, which is good. And we're gonna take our rotisserie rod here and put it across, and let's turn it on. I think our temperature is looking pretty good, so I think we'll keep the vent where it's at. Now, one thing with this rotisserie, because it's aftermarket, we can't close the lid all the way because we have the rod here. So we got a block of charcoal here, and I'm just gonna put it on the edge here and close the lid on it to wedge it in place. So this allows it to mainly be closed, but we still have a gap over here. So that way our rod can turn, and our chicken's still turning, but it allows our temperature to stay hot. Okay, so let's check on our chicken and see how it's doing. All right, that is looking beautiful. So our temperature has been staying pretty consistent at about 400 degrees, a little over. Our big green egg is cracked a little just like that with that block there. And then we've got our vent open probably about a third of the way. And our chicken is looking delicious. Okay, so our chicken is done. We temped it and we're sitting at about 165 in the breast. So a little more than I usually would have pulled it at, but it looks good. This side looks amazing. Our wingtips got a little burnt. That's okay. Nobody's really eating them anyway. We got a little dark on the skin here, but I think that's gonna taste good. So we're gonna pull it off and let it rest and bring it inside. All right, our chicken has been resting for about 10 minutes, and I think the metal's cool enough that I can take off its cage. So let's, you know, free this bird. Ooh-wee. Ow! That's hot. Let's cut off our string. And we actually have a live studio audience here today. So, audience. Woo! Oh, you guys are ahead of me. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. All right. So let's cut this chicken. Let's start with a leg here, and then let's go ahead and cut off a breast. So we'll cut off just enough to kind of give you a review of how it came out. But as you can tell, it's really juicy. The skin crisped up really nice. It's a little over here, a little soft, but crispier over here. So let's go ahead and cut it so we can try it with the skin. But we'll give you a close-up. Really juicy. Boop. Nope, juice coming out. But it is juicy, trust me. Seasoned really well, cooked really well. The skin is pretty good. It's nice and juicy. What more could you want? Our cook time was about, I think, 45 or 50 minutes. So not too bad. And with this rod here, we definitely could fit probably 3 chickens on it. So that's something to know for next time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you want to see more Big Green Egg content or anything else, let me know down in the comments below. That's it. I don't know.